Hey, it's Kimberly Smith Austin, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Made to Inspire podcast. I am here today with my awesome and amazing co-host, Misty Kerrigan. Hey, Misty.
Hey, Kimberly. Normally, I like to start and get excited about what we're talking about, but you were like a kid on Christmas morning when we talked about this topic. And what is this topic? Launch us out.
Well, let's start by just reminding everyone that we've been in this whole series about tools. As a business owner, entrepreneur, emerging executive, it's important that we have tools in our tool belt because without them, where would we be and who would we be? You know, it's like Bob the Builder. You put your tool belt on and you get ready for your world, your day, or whatever you're doing. So we've been on this series, and guys, we've shared so many with you. We've talked about AI, we've talked about conferences, we've talked about a variety of things. And today, as Misty said, we're going to talk about one of my favorites, which is speaking. Speaking. And we do it to you every single week. We're having a conversation. And when I think about that, I want you to think about the fact that people fear public speaking more than they fear death. What? And when you think about speaking, it simply is a conversation. Well, that's how I think of it. I think of it as a conversation, which if I'm talking to my bestie, I'm talking to a prospect, I'm talking to someone, I make it conversational style in such a way that it takes away the fear, the anxiety. And guess what? We have a conversation. So today, it's all about speaking.
All about the speaking. Now, have you always loved speaking?
Probably. Probably. You know, I was looking a few years back, I've discovered and found my third grade report card. And on it, it says, Kimberly is very talkative. So that told me back at 9 years old, I've always been this communicator. Look how I transitioned that word, not talkative, but I was a communicator from the very beginning. And when you think about that, it's all about what we say about ourselves and what we believe. I believe, again, speaking is a conversation. See how I changed that? So I removed the fear, removed the anxiety, and from being talkative to simply an amazing communicator. So yes, Misty, I've always loved to talk.
Strength-based reframe.
That's right.
I like that. Communicator. Well, and I think you hit such a great point on no matter where you're communicating, the speaking skills help you, whether it's networking, one-on-one, presentation. I think sometimes people forget that even the presentation at work or to that the new person that might be a customer, or as we love, is the bigger stages where you're getting to influence, inspire, and impact more than a one-on-one conversation. One to many, they love to say.
That's right. That's right. And I think it's a gift. When I say a gift, it's a gift that everyone can open, a gift that everyone can open if they make the decision. And I know speaking in front of people, speaking in public can be nerve-wracking, nerve-wretching, whatever word you want to use, because there's the fear of the unknown. But the truth is, you know, one of the secrets that I've always taught is look at the audience as a bunch of naked people, right? That's what you hear. But I like to look over the audience or find one person in the crowd and make them the apple of your eye for just a second, because there's some power there. When you get into that conversation about something that you love, something that you're passionate about, most people could probably talk all day. Now, if it was one-on-one, they were like, oh, easy peasy. But I want you to think of it, reframe it as a one-on-one. Reframe it as you're talking in the mirror and there's someone right there that you want to impact, influence, impress, and then go for it.
There's a lot going on there to unpack.
There is.
I want an audience to especially write this down, because we meet people that own businesses or they're emerging leaders or entrepreneurs. And they always talk first about like, well, I don't know, that sounds scary. And then by the end of the conversation or a few sessions later, they're like, I think I want to be a speaker. Like they kind of get over their nerves. And when they're over their nerves, they get excited. And the only difference between fear and excitement is exhaling.
That's good, Misty.
It's
That's
just
good.
exhaling. So the great tips you just gave from stage, and it could be a stage or a couple people, like we're not talking like you're a rock band from stage, but we utilize the term from stage. Even if I'm in a conference room and I take the floor, I'll say like that's a stage,
That's
because
right.
if I'm speaking and others are listening, there's no difference between thousands of people and five. The
Yes.
techniques work. And one of the techniques you gave was the kind of the eye contact
Hmm.
and switching it over and over. So you're having dozens of one-on-one conversations. You're less nervous, and for the audience, it's way more impactful.
Yeah. It's so powerful. But I want to go back to one main point. Speaking is your best marketing tool. And I should have opened up with that because I think so many people don't realize the power of being in front of the room, the power of being a trusted resource, being that person giving out some information about a product, a service, about a changing time, about a resource. Guess what? We may be behind your screen. You may be listening to us on an earbud, or maybe you're watching us on YouTube. And guess what? We're speaking to you right now. We're making an impression. We're giving you information that can transform your world. And so today we say to you, speaking is your best marketing tool. And with that, we want to challenge you, encourage you, and inspire you to make it a part of your life.
Invite
Yes,
you.
your life.
I think you're right. And it also is the quickest way for someone to know, like, and trust you, because you're in front of them. So businesses, we do business through know, like, and trusting people. And you could Facebook a million pictures or words, but you do one video, you're going to be able to connect faster than all of the memes and things that are being typed. So it really is that getting to know you. And think about how it just works in general when we see someone on TV enough.
Yes,
It works in advertising. They found
that's
that
right.
out in the 70s, is if we see you enough, you speak enough, whether it's in a movie, on stage, that we're more likely to buy a product from you because we already feel like we know you.
That credibility is built
Oh
up.
yeah,
It's
huge for
like, I
credibility.
know her. We do that with rock stars or TV stars.
Yes.
All of a sudden, we're like, I know them. I know them. And that's the same thing true in your business.
Which is so funny, because I do want to point out rock stars, athletes, politics, after they do their passion run of whatever their career was, the next thing they switch into is speaking.
Yes,
I'll name 1,000 actors that are now activists, or politics that promote other people, and they just get on stages and they inspire and impact. But it's funny how many athletes turn into professional speakers.
that's right. That's right. Because it is your greatest marketing tool. It is your greatest resource. And I know when you think about it, just think about how you can change the bottom line of your business. And think of speaking as the business, the brand, and the bottom line. Using this one tool can really transform your bottom line, giving you opportunities to get in front of people. So today we're going to talk about three tools that we want you to use to help you get on more stages, to get in front of people, to get in front of your target audience. And I want to start with the first one. And I think this is critical, especially for those of you that are listening, thinking, I can't speak, I don't speak, I don't want to do that. And here's the truth, you don't have to. You can stay right where you are right now, and your business will continue to either stand still, maybe move a little bit, but if you want it to flourish, if you want it to grow so you can go and make an impact in the world, the first thing you want to do is get trained. Get trained to become a speaker. Now, you don't have to be trained to speak in front of tens of thousands, but at least being able to speak intelligibly, right? Hold your sentences, be able to keep people involved, keep people engaged in your conversation, knowing about eye contact, engagement, and all those key elements that make people want to listen.
Well, you
And
were
I
doing
want
a
to give
talk
a
one
really,
time.
what's that?
Some of the things you were doing a talk one time, and you talked about the tone, the voice, cadence, and the professional speaker lady, that the voice coach,
Yes,
professional voice coach in the audience. I thought she was going to jump out of her chair. She was so excited that you were actually addressing some of the things, enunciating,
yes,
pausing. You give out so many tools during that talk, but it was phenomenal because they were all tools for points, engagement, influence, and moving people forward. And I think you're absolutely right on that, is we don't have to be scared if we feel prepared. Ooh, that
That's,
rhymes. We don't
that's
have to be
right.
scared if we feel prepared.
I'm writing that down. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Right?
And
Misty.
that's what coaching does. It helps you feel more confident in you.
That's right.
Because your voice is a tool.
That's right. That's right. And that's exactly what that workshop that you're speaking of is called. What does your voice say about you? But in your voice, it's not just the auditory. There's so many other things that go along with it. And I think that's critical. So think about, how do I get trained? And I'll tell you, I have a program called The Mint. And I'd love to just share with you a little insight. We think about the US Treasury Mint, and what they do is they develop money, right? All of us love it. We use it every day. But the program that I speak to is called The Mint. It's speaking, mentorship, and mastery. And the whole purpose of that is to give you the tools that you need to become a more proficient speaker. On top of that, there's a whole plethora of training, monthly master classes that happen, resources that are available to help you go from where you are as maybe a not comfortable or confident speaker, scared, right? To a more comfortable speaking. Because here's the truth: scared money makes no money. And I don't want to use it in the ghetto word, but it was like scared money make no money or something like that. But thinking about that, we need to overcome that fear and tap into an opportunity that exists every single day. Because getting trained in speaking is not only going to take you on the stages, but it's going to make you more proficient in that one-on-one, in that networking event, maybe in that elevator, right? When you get that elevator pitch, you're now going to know how to say it and what to say to your target audience.
So now I want to add to that is that when you're on stage, it's like a fish in water, as they say. I feel so old when I say the old stuff. It's like a fish in water, Kimberly. When you're on stage and I in the audience with my cane, hey, it really is like, oh my gosh, you were made for stage. But what people don't see under the iceberg is you still get trained, and you still weekly are in speaking. You still, what I appreciate is you're a qualified speaker, you're a certified speaker, you're a what's the big kahuna for Toastmasters?
Oh, distinguished Toastmaster.
Distinguished Toastmaster. But these things aren't because Kimberly spoke and she was great, so we handed her these things. These that you, being so proficient at what you do, still learn, still put time, still put effort, and still get more prepared, get better at the tools. And I think people, what they see is, oh, she's so good. Like, you were born with it. But truth be told, yes, you're passionate about it, but without all the work you put into it, you wouldn't be as amazing as you are. And the capabilities that you have to influence and move people from stage come from the time, energy, and effort that you put into it, sometimes almost daily.
That's good, Misty. That's good. And let me first say thank you for those kind words. As you
I'm
mentioned,
a fan.
From 9 years old, this is what I've done. But I will tell you, I've honed the craft. 30 years as a professional public international speaker, I work at it. It's not something that just every day. I mean, I do have some skills that allow me to speak on the fly and speak from the heart, but I will tell you, it's a daily craft. It's a daily craft. And that's the progress portion. Progress portion. Progress makes us better. We've got to constantly be practicing so we can progress and improve our skill set. Matter of fact, even early this morning, I was looking at something for a speaker summit, and I was like, oh, maybe I should go. Not because I need to learn the basics, but let's see what's out there in the marketplace. What are other people doing? And what can I take away with to help me improve even better? So it's a process, folks, a process to make progress in your life. Get trained.
Love that. Number one, and you don't understand, so many times coaches coach, but they don't do what they coach. So I love the Mint because it really is the walk, because I'm setting the road, but let me turn around and get you to where I'm at, and then let's go. And people hate you and love you because I've seen you more times just tell someone, just come speak.
Yeah.
Just at our last event, Empower Women Wellness, there was probably 8 people who never would have thought that you're like, okay, you're going to talk on stage. And then you help prepare them and you got them to do it. And it's something, I say this lovingly, it's like a drug, because once someone gets off the stage, they're like, what's next? Where's my next one?
Hit the drug.
Yeah, like it's such a beautiful thing when people embrace it. And the first step is get trained in anything, get a coach, take a program. and
Right.
get more comfortable with it. So what's the second step after we are putting some time and energy into getting better at it by someone who's already kind of where we want to be?
I think one of the things you want to look at now is, now that you've taken the time to get the training, is to now work on your signature talk, your signature speech, because that's what's going to make a difference. Now, keep in mind that signature talk has to directly align with the product and service that you're going out to the marketplace to sell. Now, I can go and talk about jump rope all day, but here's the truth. If I'm not selling jump ropes, it doesn't have as much value. So think about, even if your topic is underlining, but it still leads back to your product and
Oh,
service, it has to be related, because that's what's then going to cause them to say, hey, I want more. I want more. And I'll tell you, I've spoken a many day on various topics. But what I love is that when I speak and I align with the product and service, i.e., have a table at the back of the room with a book, with a product, or I'm trying to sign them up, guess what? The sales just come in. They come in. So you want to think about, what is that signature talk? How do I want to make an impact? What do I want to impress upon in the marketplace to level up my business, to directly align with what I have to offer?
and the one thing that just ties everything together so beautifully is that if it's your signature talk and it's your product, you're automatically passionate about it. You're talking about it in the elevator anyway. You're at dinner party, someone mentions that, you're like, oh, tap me in, because you can't help but want to share or talk about it or give advice on it. So haven't you ever been somewhere where someone just starts talking about something, you're like, well, what is that? And then they get so excited and passionate about it. That's the signature. The signature is, how do you lead back to the passion and company? Because if you're the owner, if you're emerging leader in it, there's something about it that you're passionate about. And that's where the audience really connects with, is your passion about what it is you're speaking on. And that's why it's called your signature, because it's a part of you.
That's right. Misty, I will tell you right now, I have goosebumps. You know why? Because we're talking about my signature talk right now. We're talking about the thing that gets me excited and really causes me to just, that we're talking about it. So as you were saying that, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And that's what it's like when you're passionate about something and then you go tell the world. So you standing on a stage of 5, 10 to 10,000, it won't matter, because now you're in your zone of genius. Now you're speaking from a place of passion, and there's nothing anyone can do to take it away from you.
Now, the
So
great speakers, and you do it too. I love it. And the new signature I want to put on this is the divine zone. So the divine zone, because it's a God gift and God has put you in this zone to push forward and make an impact and influence in his world. And so the fun part is those that are in their divine zone forget what they say, forget what happened, because they're just present in their zone. And I've seen Kimberly she writes these amazing speeches, and then she gets in her divine zone, and now maybe 2 points came from it, but she speaks and it's amazing. When she comes out, I'm like, oh my God, I took so much notes. I was brilliant. And she always sometimes looks at me and says, what'd I say? Divine zone, because you're like elevated into this place of just pure passion and influence and impact. And it's so funny. And I've had other great speakers too come up like, what did I say? Like, that
right.
was so good. And you really don't connect. You're not scared about it. You don't connect. Sometimes you don't even remember, because you're just speaking from the heart.
That's it. I love it. I love it. And I appreciate that, because it's true. I sometimes don't know. I go up there with a vision. I have some main points, which I will speak to, but then it just expands in such a way that I know it was beautiful, divine intervention that really allowed me to operate in that place. So that's exciting. So number one, you're going to get trained. Number two, you're going to develop that signature talk. What is it? What is your signature message you want to get out to the world? And number three, get booked on some stages, book some stages.
That's a huge jump.
What's that?
I said, that's a huge jump.
That's the huge one. Because here's the thing, you can have the talk, you can get trained, but if you never go and do it, so in AKA, this last stage is action. Take action, action.
So
Like
weird.
I always say, right, Misty? Book some stages, get booked on stages so you can get into action. And this is what really matters. Here's the cool thing. Look at your local chamber. Maybe they're looking for someone to talk about your topic, or maybe you just go and say, hey, I have this topic conversation and I want to put it out to the world. Get booked. Maybe it's looking for conferences in your local area and they're looking for someone with your expertise. Maybe it's going online and doing virtual summits. Right now, the field is plentiful. There's an expression that says, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Become a laborer in the space of speaking because people want to hear what you have. And when you get out there and share your information and your knowledge, I can assure you the calls are going to come in, the requests are going to come in, and your bottom line will grow. Trust me.
If your signature speech is part of your passion and your passion is part of your business and product, and you're speaking on it weekly at minimum, whether it's a podcast and you're really growing it, that's where and we're going to do a little bit more expansion on some of these things. But the HARO, Help a Reporter Out, once you become the expert and known in that specific topic, other people seek you out.
That's right.
They hear about someone said, oh, I saw someone speak on this. Oh, who is it? Give me that number. Or as Kimberly knows, some of you out there is, you could be speaking, and once you get off stage, people are already like, hey, can you come talk at my company? And which is really the important part when it comes to action, and I know we've been talking about this, is in your signature speech and when you get trained, especially in the Mint, you're going to know your call to action so that you're moving people, you're impacting people, but you're also pushing them back into your realm, your world, whether the call to action is your Facebook, your Instagram, or your course or your book, but taking that next step with you, because if they're connected to your passion and they want what you have, from stage is and I say it lovingly, it's the easiest way to have more people into your realm.
That's right. That's so good, Miss D. So very good. So you've heard it right here, guys. This is your superpower, a super opportunity that you can take advantage of. But here's the trick. You have to make that decision. And as I mentioned at the beginning, speaking is one of the most scary things out there. Again, speaking to the public is scarier to most people than dying. And if you transform that thought of, if I don't speak, my business will die. Not necessarily, but maybe put yourself in that realm and say, maybe I need to pull myself out of this fear and come into action. Because we know fear versus the whole concept of being able to make yourself shine and have a superpower will make a difference. Fear versus the power of speaking. Change the game, folks. Will change the game. So think about that and how you can actually utilize that and put that in your life. As Misty said, don't be scared, be prepared. Don't be scared, be prepared. Become a practitioner. Do what's hard. Do the hard thing and watch your business grow.
And if you are interested in our links, as always, we'll have more information on a couple of resources and the Mint. We'll have some information on the program, the Mint. Take the baby step. Just get some skill, grab a coach, and let's see where the journey takes you.
That's right. So with that, as we say every single week, there's something out there waiting for you.
Now go get it.